On to our next address now, which comes from the Innovation Jury President, Fred Raillard. Fred is the co-founder and CEO of Fred and Farid, which is the first French independent digital creative group, and Fred has invested also in 25 startup companies. Fred is a French Tech Shanghai ambassador and hosts a weekly radio chronicle called Fred in China on BFM in France about Chinese social media. He has many hats and he has many awards, but he's here today to tell us, just say no. Please welcome now to the stage Fred and Farid's creative CEO, Fred Raillard.
Working? Yeah. So I've been in the business for now 23 years, and in the creative business, and working in Paris and London and San Francisco and now in China. And I keep hearing in the creative community that we have to have a positive attitude. We need to be open to new ideas. We need to have a certain kind of curiosity. And really, like, honestly speaking, I don't believe so. I believe that the best creativity, the best creative ideas come from saying no to everything. Like no to the brief, no to the person in front of you, no to your clients, no to everything. And it really works. It really happened that when you are in this no attitude, it just brings you into better creative spaces. I'm just going to start by a video because I live in China, I live in Shanghai, and I love this new generation. We talk about the post-90s, the millennials, the post-90s. And it's funny to see that in China, this new generation is saying no to pretty much everything of the previous society. And they are developing their own individuality, personality. And it's the first time that we start talking again about Chinese creativity. So it's a piece of work that we have done for Taobao, from the group Alibaba. So it's number 3 video, Taobao.
他们说，
第一句要好看，
不然没人看。
他们是谁？
管他是谁，你只管好好看我。
我会要你好看。
你看我的眼神，
定义你的品味。
看我盛世美颜，
美得不留颜面。
清新到倾城，
狂野到出味。
别和我提欧美范儿，
好好看看我的饭。
What？ 任何饭？想吃石锅拌饭？
看不惯我，
因为我没惯着你。
来舔屏啊！
我满脸胶原蛋白。
什么？全是蛋？
我是小鲜肉，不加孜然，谢谢。
不粉红就去死，
不完美，
可还是美啊！不轻易出手，
他点赞太多。
不信邪，
但姓徐。
不小心翼翼，
不怕死，
不学乖，
不听劝。
嘘，不要怕，有你好看的。
下一秒，看我。
The world is always relying on young people, and luckily we have so many internet population.
So this new generation in China is pretty much opposed to everything, and you can start exactly in the same time you start talking more and more about the Chinese creativity. It's super important to be against something if you want to create. I'm going to tell you a story. You know, I was in Shanghai. And 2 o'clock in the morning, before to go to bed, I switch on my Twitter, and I can see that in France, Twitter is on fire about the new logo of l'Élysée. L'Élysée is the French White House. So I look at the logo, and it really sucks. And so it looks like something like a plane crashing or like an evil mask or something. And so I tweet, is this a plane crashing? Is this an evil mask? No, it's just the new logo of the French l'Élysée. And then I switch off the computer and like, maybe I shouldn't tweet like negative things, you know, because you never know what's going to happen, etc. And the day after in the morning, I wake up, open my computer, and I have a direct answer from l'Élysée. saying, and who created this logo, question mark, hashtag Inception. I'm like, oh, fuck, we've done the logo maybe. And so I called my partner in Paris, I wake him up, and I'm like, Farid, please tell me we didn't do that shitty logo from l'Elysée, because Twitter is on fire, and now people are really bitching on us, like Fred and Farid are criticizing their own logo for l'Elysée. Looks really, really bad. And Farid tells me, no worry, I assure you we didn't do this logo. I'm going back to bed, we'll fix that tomorrow. I'm like, you sure? Because like really Twitter is on fire now. I say, you sure? No worry, no worry. And I was in the campus, that day, it was funny because that day I was training the art directors of the company. And so I took that as an example, I showed them the logo, I say, look how shitty this logo is. Only in the Western world you can have no sense of feng shui up to doing that shitty logo. And I made it as an example, and I started on that, and I made a whole course about art direction in the West based on this logo. And then, 3 o'clock, I got a phone call from the head of our New York office, saying, Fred, we've done the logo. I was like, oh, shit. And I remember at that moment that we had worked for l'Elysée. We had advised them on a different thing. And I remember in the corridor, an art director saying to me that he's got a good relationship with the guy at l'Elysée from the communication. And he asked me if he could work with him. And I was thinking about something else. I said, just yes. And that's the little yes that kills creative quality in our agencies. And really, I so regret this yes. And our life, our daily life, is invaded by this little yes that kills the creative quality. And in real, when you're in a yes attitude, you're with the group. So you have the harmony of the group. You agree with people, but nothing happens. Creativity happens when someone says no. And I know it's disturbing and it's not an easy thing because some people don't like to say no because it's killing the harmony of the group. But think about it. You're in a group and you start saying no. And then when you say no to someone, it can be your client or it could be one of your colleagues in the company. When you say no, you really have the feeling that you are on the box ring. You see the guy, you see his attitude, he's becoming more sharp. He's going to have to fight against you. And you know you're going to have to fight him. And you are becoming more sharp. And when you say no to his point of view, you go on the box ring. And it works. It just makes you sharper. And something happens. And that's the only moment when creativity can happen. If you say yes, nothing happens. Never. If you say no, then a debate starts, and the good idea will be born out of this debate. I remember that with Farid. I was in the plane with Graham Fink, and we were talking about our 2 conferences. And he asked me what was our creative process with Farid, and I told him, well, seriously speaking, our creative process was, when we were working together like 12 hours a day in an office, our creative process was quantity. We were saying no to every single idea we were saying. So on every project, we had like 20 pages of ideas because we said no to every idea, to ourselves. And that was really pushing us further. And so once someone say no, then one becomes 2, and from 2, it's almost mystical, from 2 the idea can be born. And it's super important. And I know that it's hard because some people are just scared to break the harmony, and they want, they want the group just to work. But in real, we shouldn't be scared. We should never be scared. I remember, when I was in my design school in Paris, I happened to be like super, super creative all the time, up to being very, very crazy. And I was in a no attitude all the time. I had this little French notebook in my pocket, and I was writing all the time ideas. And creativity comes from no. For instance, I'm here on this stage. If I say no to this logo, my brain will find a better logo. If I say no to this room, I will say, oh, is it the best place to do this conference in Singapore? And I will think about a beach, about a roof terrace, about whatever, Your brain starts thinking how to challenge the reality that surrounds you. But it's by saying no to this carpet, and your brain is like, why? I should have put something else, not this carpet, but something else. And all the good creative people I met in my life, because I'm really living with creative people since I was born. And, I hate sometimes create, ECD or CCO that are so politics, just go for titles. And I know immediately if I face a guy, I know immediately if he's a real creative guy or just a fake guy. And the people I love the most in the industry, my friends, my creative friends, are assholes. really, like, you could say assholes. They're really bad guys. They have bad attitudes. They disagree all the time. They keep disagreeing with everything. And it's exhausting. But it is the basic element of creativity. And I love that in the company. In my company, Fred and Farid, we're based in Paris, Shanghai, New York. We love those talents. We love people who say no. We love assholes. You know, we love people who disagree with the brief, with us, with the client, with the platform, with everything, with the industry. And we hire. We're in a quest for people who disagree, who say no, who have this attitude of saying no. I'm going to show you, and it always works with creative, because creative people will never be angry if you say no to them. Because they know that you will, well, you need the little sentence, you say no. And then you say, well, you can be better, you can do better. Or something, you know, you don't want to break the person in front of you, right? But if you say no, you get better things. I'm going to show you like a very concrete example. It's not for the case, I don't care about the case, but I care about the process of this. It's for Porsche, but not now, it's for Porsche, the number 2, but just before to launch. So we had to announce in China the coming back of Porsche, the cars, the German cars in Le Mans. And so they were coming back to the course Le Mans, to the race. And those kids came to me, so it's a social creative team came to me with this idea of, okay, we're going to make a social race. So we're going to have this hashtag, 24 social race. And the more you tweet the hashtag, the faster you go on the track for 24 hours, and the winner is going to go to Germany. And I said no. And silence. I said, what do you don't like? I said, I like it, but push it further. It's not enough. No. And they will never, you know, creative people will never reproach you that. You say no, and it's almost like you're inside the house, you close the door. Then they come back by the window, you close the window. Then you close the fire, they try to come back with the fireplace, you close the fireplace. And then you close the ceiling, and then you close the cave. And then they will break the wall ultimately to get inside the house. You will get that by saying no, not saying yes. And so they came back to me with a great idea. They said, okay, and it completely shifted the idea it gives the idea a different dimension. They came back with, okay, we're going to do this social race, but on the platform, you will be able to either Weibo connect or Twitter connect. And I was changing the whole deal. Because suddenly, if you were Weibo connecting to the platform, you were on the red track. And if you were Twitter connecting on the platform, you were on the blue track. Which means that they had just created a race, America against China. That was great because it's like existing energy on the World Wide Web. What I love about recycling energy, there is a competition in between America and China. This is like free energy. It's like Tesla free energy that you can use for any activation in the US or in China. It will work. It will trigger people's motivation. And so they've done this case, and that's why it works. And I was so happy to say no the first time, and I liked the idea. But by principle, I said no. So that's Porsche Social Race, number 2.
Twitter, 255 million monthly users, 500 million tweets per day. #1 USA microblogging platform. Weibo, 144 million monthly users, 90 million tweets per day. #1 Chinese microblogging platform. Porsche has followers on both sides. We thought, let's make a battle. Twitter against Weibo, USA against China. Our idea, to announce Porsche's return to the legendary race, the 24 Hours of Le Mans. We produced the first ever 24-hour social race between these two major platforms, Twitter and Weibo. 400 million potential drivers. Only one rule, the more you tweet our hashtag, the faster you race. 20,000 teams on the starting line, watching the event and tweeting live like crazy. Some even went off track, just like actual pilots. Yes, some just literally broke Twitter limits. But, as they say, the greater the effort, the sweeter the reward. 70,000 tweets both on Twitter and Weibo, a maximum speed of 6,355 tweets per hour, 750,000 visitors, 250 press articles, a total of 37.5 million worldwide media impressions. With 80% of all tweets, China dominated the USA. But the winner, the Twitter team, which posted almost 3,000 tweets in 24 hours.
Yeah, it's a good example of completely changed just the center of gravity of the idea. It was not the social race anymore. It was not a gimmick. It was really like, let's organize this competition, America against China. And so I can develop like way more about the no. You know, when you take a brief, I've always said no to the brief, always. Like seriously, I'm 20 years in the business. I never read the brief now because if clients knew how to write a brief, they wouldn't brief us. So the question is always wrong. So I've always said no to the brief. And so we've been briefed by Louis XIII. Louis XIII is the best cognac in the world. One bottle costs $3,000. And you know, in the cognac world in France, you know, history is super important. You know, Martel, one of the main competitors, had just celebrated the 300 years anniversary. And it's all on this category. It's all about brand DNA. It's all about heritage. It's all about know-how, etc. And it's really about the past and the history, and that's how you bring value to your product. And this time on Louis XIII, we happen to realize that it's a mix of 1,200 alcohols, and some of those alcohols are 100 years old. So that drives us really into the past. And we decided to do something to say no to the whole category. The whole category was going on heritage, and we've done something completely heretic, which is to put this brand in the future. And so we have created this idea that we have made a film with John Malkovich, a real film with John Malkovich, 12 minutes, piece of art, and we have put this piece of art into a box, and with a counter, like electronic counter, and this will open only in 30 years. So we said no to the whole category. And we said no also to our clients on the way, because our client was suddenly questioning, you know, if it was realistic to really go in this direction, like massive, worldwide, etc. And we kept strong, and we kept strong on our no, on everything, and we've done this case. So it's the research number 4.
The concept was we would make a film that wouldn't be seen for 100 years.
In 2015, as a tribute to Louis XIII Cognac that takes 4 generations of cellar masters over 100 years to craft, we shot a movie written by John Malkovich and directed by Robert Rodriguez that won't be released before 2115. Louis XIII presents 100 Years, the movie you will never see. This movie was launched with a billboard on Sunset Boulevard, backstage photos on social media, an official IMDb page, a mysterious making of.
I've never done anything like this, and I was intrigued by the concept of working on a film that nobody would ever see, you know, in my lifetime.
3 teasers.
The notion inherent in this is for us to try and imagine what the world will be like in 100 years.
Pretty much like any highly anticipated theatrical release, except for one small detail, the release date, November 2115.
Thrilling.
So our grand premiere was replaced by a grand non-premiere, where all of Hollywood was invited to not see the movie.
Please tell us more about your vision, source of inspiration.
No, I can't.
Instead, we gave them a serial-numbered limited edition invitation for their descendants. Finally, to be sure that no one will see it before 2115, we locked the only copy of the film in a safe box specially designed and engineered to automatically open in 100 years. Without showing a single image of the actual film, we got the world's attention.
I hope you enjoy my film that's 100 years in the making. It's to be a work of art that is enjoyed in 100 years.
And I mean, think about it in all different kind of fields. You know, every big idea, like really big idea, is always born out of a big no. From the French Revolution to when they said no to there should be a certain kind of people having all the rights and some other people no rights, and they said no. From Tesla right now saying no to the car industry is logical and delivering a new logical. And so yeah, it's fascinating because it's always, I mean, nothing happens without opposition. Have to be in opposition to something. And that's why a lot of great creative guys are super courageous guys because they have to face, well, in other terms you can say you have to face conventions. But so it happened that the more creative you go, the stronger your personality becomes because you allow yourself to oppose yourself to the group. And you get a lot of energy from that. You get a lot of energy. I mean, try it. Today, try it. Like when you go lunch, just as an exercise, you go lunch, you talk with someone, and at some point, you start your sentence by no. And they make silence. You don't say no, 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 because no, no, no is weak. It's like you're not confident about your no. You just say no. And silence. And then you see where it goes. You disagree. And you see where it goes. And see his position. See how sharp he will become because you're facing him suddenly. And something happened. It's a kind of battle for the best because he's going to help you grow in your thinking and you're going to help him grow in his thinking. And it's the basis of debates. You know, in France, we are a country of ideas. I know we're really bad in business, okay? But we're a country of ideas and culture, and debates are just crazy in France. People debate all the time on everything, but it's a country of ideas. And, but you need this confrontation. I've never, ever seen good creative guys who didn't have the balls to confront the group and to oppose to the group. And it gives you power. You know, there is this great lady, unfortunately she died, but she was a guru of L'Oréal in France, and she used to tell me, Fred, luxury is about saying no. That was her definition of luxury. Because when you say no, when you are in a no posture, you give yourself personality, you give yourself a space to express yourself, you give yourself a stage, you give yourself value, you give yourself personality. So you are empowering yourself as opposed to the guy close to you who's going to say yes. And so from that, you build your own personality and you grow as a creative and you become stronger. And also, by saying no, you have to confront yourself to the people surrounding you, to your clients, to the people you work with, etc. And by confronting yourself in a kind of battle, aggressive battle, you learn to know yourself better because you have to be confident when you go on the box ring. It's okay if you're not confident out of the box ring, but in the box ring, you have to be confident. And so you happen to know yourself better. And that's super important because we live in a world where you have just taps of idea on the internet. You just go on a website and you see ideas, 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 ideas. No need, like for my generation, to be like in an office for 12 hours working. You don't need that. Now, the most important thing in our industry and in many industries is taste. It's your taste and culture. It's your ability to curate the right content for the right exercise. So taste is more and more important. And to have taste, you need to know yourself. You need to know your own taste. And so you need to confront yourself to the others. So this confrontation is super important. There is no creation by one. Creation comes out of two, and opposition. It's almost like in nature. You need male and female pole to create. So you need that. So I'm convinced about that. So I keep saying no all the time to all kinds of things in all my life. Not this house, no, not this restaurant, not this idea, not this. Really try, it works. It brings you, like it's a short way to more interesting creative ideas, to say no. I'm just going to show you like something really fucked up we done a few years ago in France, where like we lost the client after, but it was for Orangina, the drink, Orangina, and so it's a soft drink, and we said no to the brief. We said no to, it was natural drink of orange, etc. And we decided to say only like really fucked up thing that this soft drink is the best thing to clean your car, to clean the floor, to like nothing really like in link with the brief or anything. And we lost the client, but end of the year, Ipsos made the score of, and it was the favorite ads of French people. Like France loved it. We've done this with Tom Carty from Gorgeous. You know, Carty was a great creative guy. Carty Campbell, for those who know the Brits market. So they've done tremendous ad. He's a great guy. And so we shot in a very bad way, like bad commercials. This was really born from a no attitude, and I love this. And you had a great success in France. So it's the number 5 Orangina.
I always put a drop of Orangina in my washing. It gives my laundry this shiny yellow color and a fresh orange fragrance. Special formula Orangina lifts the dirt and enhances the shine in just
3 days. Using Orangina gives me a clear skin confidence. Making
breakfast, I always give them Orangina. It's packed with goodness and keeps them strong and comfortable all day long.
Orangina, naturally.
An active bear doesn't always have the time to take a shower. My secret.
Strength and shine.
A few drops of Orangina.
After shaving, I always use Orangina. It soothes my skin.
Just love that fruity, fresh Orangina feeling in my mouth.
It's like I've never felt before.
Naturally.
Section, there's nothing better than Orangina. Orangina, naturally.
The end is really fucked up. And one last thing, I got 2 minutes to talk to you about our best no recently. It was after the, I'm getting emotional. It was after the terrorist attack. And some artists came to see us and say, can you do something? Because the theater were totally empty. And they had no money. And so we found an idea to bring people back into the theater in France. What's the best no we've done was no to terror. So it's Ma place est dans la salle. The first one.
On December 18th, in an act of solidarity, the concert halls and theaters decided to unite and change the name of their shows to one unique slogan, Ma place est dans la salle. A symbolic slogan that called for every Parisian, every French person to return to performances in a sign of resistance and struggle against the fear. Concert halls, theaters, one-man shows, cabarets, and even children's shows. More than 150 shows participated in this operation.
Ma place est dans la salle.
Ma place est dans la salle.
Est dans la salle.
Ma place est dans la salle. Opération exceptionnelle baptisée Ma place est dans la salle.
Le 18 décembre, ma place est dans la salle.
200 artists and celebrities joined the movement. Hashtag Ma place est dans la salle became a trending topic. Even the mayor of Paris and the French Ministry of Culture tweeted about the campaign. The operation even crossed beyond our borders, and we received messages of solidarity from all over the world. During the night of December 18th, the people answered the call, and the Parisian shows were all filled to the rafters. This public engagement represents a symbol of resistance and the tireless will to defend French culture, our way of life, and our artistry in the world of entertainment.
If you're in a war of culture and lifestyle with France, good fucking luck.
Okay, time's up. Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks again to Fred Raillard from Fred and Farid. Fantastic stuff this morning. Thank you, Fred.